All right. So, hey, welcome to some simple security. We're doing another video on Tails. The last one that we did showed you how to make a bootable USB stick so that you can boot directly into Tails, which is a operating system that completely operates without the need for a hard drive. So you can boot this on any of your machines. It's very secure and it leaves no trails of your activity on the USB stick or your hard drive. So this is useful for a lot of different situations where you may want to access a website or a hard drive or communicate in ways where you don't want to leave any um, evidence that you did so.
Yes, and we understand that the first video was pretty long. This video is mainly for if you have a phone that you're going to be watching to know what to do next, or if you're lucky enough, another computer. So you can just start on this video if you already have made your USB stick.
And we do know that most computers, when you put the USB drive into your computer and restart it, they should boot from the USB, but they may not. This is going to be different for every computer. And it's much more detailed if it doesn't work. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of how to necessarily troubleshoot that. This is in the hopeful occasion that when you put the USB stick in and restart your computer, it boots into Tails, which is a Linux operating system. Don't be scared. Linux is not as scary as it used to be. But we're going to show you what it looks like.
In order to get into your computer in the way that you need to, is you need to get into the boot menu, which can be any one of these. As you can see, as a Asus mainboard, that would be F8. If it's an Asus laptop, then it's Escape or F8. And if it's an Asus desktop computer, then it would also be F8. But you can always check for the brand and what boot key you need to press when the computer is starting up. And make sure you got your USB, whichever one it is. Literally any of them, as long as it has Tails on it.
Yeah, and you can get the cheapest one. I got a pack of five 8 GB USB sticks to put Tails on and mail to people anonymously for about, I think, $14. 15, something like that. So you don't have to get the highest end. You don't have to get anything fancy. You can get the cheapest thing. Um, maybe pay cash for it if you want to be super uh, nervous about it, but probably not that big a deal.
So, assuming you hit the correct boot key and you got in, let's show you what it looks like. Start up, and I'll have these two options, Tails 6.12 or Tails troubleshooting mode. We want
And
Tails.
this mode may be different depending on when you see this video and when you download the operating system, but version-wise, it shouldn't matter.
As of the time of this recording, 6.12 is the most recent. So you select it, or you wait for it to go, but you hit enter. And it will start going. It shouldn't take too long, but first boot will always be quite a bit.
Yeah, this is running off of something that most operating systems don't run off of. So there's not optimization. So it does take a little while, and that's a good thing. It just have some patience, especially if you really need something like this to work. Just let it chug along and do its thing.
And once you get in, you select your language, your keyboard layout, and your time and date format. If you want to use persistent storage, you can do that, but we're not going to be covering that. And you just hit Start Tails. Everything is correct. It's warning right here that it's a virtual machine it's running in, which is true, but that's the only way that we could really record it. It's not the most secure way to run it. The most secure way to run it is off the USB.
Yeah, the reason we're doing that is because getting a video recording system onto a privacy-centric OS is hard to do and doesn't really make sense. So we're running it on a virtual machine right now just to show you what the next looks like and how easy this thing is to actually use if you really need the privacy and anonymity.
And all I have to do from here is connect the Tor automatically. Don't worry about configuring a Tor bridge. Connect to Tor. Give it a second. Only be about another up there. We can hit start Tor browser. Click it. I did.
You did.
I clicked it twice.
Just eat. Yeah, we all, especially when you're doing something like this, you really have to have patience because one, it's running off of a USB stick, which is not optimized for running stuff off of, and also the cryptographically intense things that it's doing and the multiple servers it's hitting, it just takes a while for it to do. So just have some patience, click, don't panic, everything's working.
And it looks like this time I'm popping out in Taiwan.
Nice.
But yeah, this is Tor. You have a couple other things that you can do.
Tails has
I
a lot of different applications that are useful. It's preloaded with a lot of things, but you don't have to explore them if you don't want. But
have
yeah,
your
there's an
Office
Office
software.
suite. Yeah, there's audio editing. There's all sorts of stuff that this can do. And if you choose to not do persistent storage, everything you do in this session goes away the second you turn the computer off.
Yes.
So it's a very handy thing, especially if you're in a situation where you have a shared computer, be that via work, via government, via household, via, anyone that has access to your computer. If you want to do a few things that leaves no trace, this is how you do it.
All of these are empty. And if I were to, let's say,
Yeah, it won't let
make
you,
a
will it?
folder,
Or is this temporary?
yeah,
Yeah.
this will be gone by the time that I boot it up again. Just poof. And that's it. You're now running Tor on your computer.
And it can be a Mac, it can be a Linux machine, it can be a Windows machine, whatever operating system you run, it doesn't matter. This will become the operating system.
Yes, it's going to
So
sidestep your hard drive, your SSD, whatever is your storage medium, and just run straight off the USB. So you don't have to worry about it messing with anything in your computer.
yeah, it won't break your computer at all.
Yeah.
It may be able to access your computer's hard drive if you need
Yes.
to pull something off that hard drive and maybe share it with a journalist or an activist. This might be a good way to pull something off the hard drive that you have and send it to someone securely through a lot of cryptographically difficult things, difficult for other people to crack. This might be a way to do that.
If you need
Or if you
to,
want
you
to,
just go to Places, Computer, and then it will show up in this
mhm.
area. And then you can pull files off of the computer to send to someone securely without there being any record of it being sent across from the storage inside of your PC.
Now that said, if someone is running, say, a network monitoring system, they may notice that there's a connection made from your computer. They won't know what it is, and they won't know where it goes, but they may
Yes.
notice that a connection was made. That's the only caveat.
Right, and with that, I believe we have covered how you
Yeah, I think
boot
it's a
into
yeah,
Tails.
I think it's a pretty good wrap up of Tails. I don't. There's a lot more that Tails can do, but we really want to keep these videos short and concise and kind of to the point. So I hope this was useful. Um, If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I am going to be maybe moderating all the comments. Maybe. We'll see.
More than likely.
But yeah, we'd love to hear some feedback. There, what you put them in the comments, and if we get a moderated comment, we can reach out to you.
Yes. Okay, and we will see you another time. Might as well end this with the boot keys, just in case you couldn't find the timestamp for that at the beginning.
So yeah, this is how to get into BIOS to change how your computer boots.
Not
Because
BIOS,
if
just straight into the boot menu where you choose what
sure,
drive
okay,
you boot to.
okay, yeah,
Because usually it's delete to get
hmm
into your BIOS, but that's a little bit over the top. You just need to get into the boot menu where you select what you want to boot from. And
correct.
this has been Some Simple Security. I'm Terra,
And I missed.
and we will see you in the next video, or watch a number slowly tick up and get a lot of joy from it.
Indeed.